Grow?
Here.
Mr. Melvin? He's here, I know. He maybe stepped out the room for a minute. He's not in here? Mr. Perilou?
Here.
Mr. Otan?
Here.
Mr. Lafont? Mr. Lafont? Mr. Lorraine? Mr. Cantrell? No. I'm not sure where Mr. Melvin is.
I think he's on the phone outside. Okay, Mr. Grow will lead us in the invocation and then Mr. Lorraine will lead us in the pledge. Let the record show Mr. Melvin walked in at 5:03 p.m.
Dear Father, come fill our lives with your love, fill our conversations with your grace and truth, fill this meeting with your presence. We ask this to be glory and praise.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Posito, can I say something real quick?
Well,
It's a public service announcement. I think it's very
sure,
important.
you go ahead, but
I just wanted, if people listening and watching, the parish public service, public information officer didn't put out a report. I didn't see it on the news, but there was a resident in my district who passed away from West Nile virus. So I just want the public to be aware. If you have any standing water or anything, it was in the obituary, it said they died of West Nile. So if you have standing water in your house or around your house or ditches or whatever, and you can get that water out the way, let's try to do it. And let your neighbors know if you're watching this, and let your neighbors know. I think it's something very important. Also, I saw today a report on influenza, that last year 80,000 Americans died from influenza. So important maybe to get your flu shots also. Thank you.
thank you for that. Mr. Lafont? A, approval of minutes. Number 1, motion to accept the minutes of the June 26, 2018 regular session, deferred from 7/10/18, 7/24/18, 8/14/18, 8/28/18, 9/11/18, 9/25/18, and 10/9/18 LPC meetings. Can I get a motion? Moved by Otas, second by Lafont. Any discussion being none? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0. 8001 vacancy. And so when you hear me announce vacancy, that is just because Craig Jacuso's paperwork isn't done. He is attending the meeting, but he's unable to vote right now. Okay, Mr. Melvin, can you get a motion to defer items 2 through 9?
Yes, I'd like to defer 2 through 9, please.
Defer 2 through 9 to what date, Ms. Carleen?
The November 13th meeting.
Defer to 11/13/18, moved by Melvin, second by Perilou. Any discussion being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8001 vacancy. B, presentation dinner updates. Number 10, Ms. Vicki Adams, Head Start Director, to present the end of the year report for Head Start. Ms. Adams? So good to see your smiling face.
I'm Vicki Adams, 305 Ami Thibodeau. Let's see. You got to see our picture right at the bayou, how pretty it is.
Nice.
It's always the same picture that we use even for our website. So tonight, it's the end of the year, 2018, and I thought it would be a good time to kind of talk about our Policy Council. Our Policy Council is responsible for the direction of Head Start, our programs, including program design and operation, long-term and short-term planning goals and objectives. Issue with parents and community can be addressed with the Policy Council.
We have order in the chambers. Thank you.
So this year, our policy council gave us direction in 4 areas: safety, facilities, the salary of our teachers, and mental health. Now, as you know, the salary of our staff comes from COLAs. And so if the federal government gives COLAs, that's when we get salary
What's the
increases.
percentage on the COLA raises?
This last year, it was 3%.
3%?
Yes.
I know we have an item on the agenda today, but, go ahead.
Okay.
Good.
So these are the areas that we're working from the direction of the Policy Council. Now, as you know, you're in charge of the governance of Head Start. You're in charge of making sure that we follow all the rules and regulations, and you're in charge to make sure we spend the money correctly. So, having said that, we follow with the finance department. We have a person in the finance department. I didn't realize that she's been doing this for 15 years, but it's Ms. Ockman. And so when we have rules and regulations and webinars, some days they're 3 days long. She sits in her office, she watches the webinars to make sure that she stays up with everything that has to deal with Head Start. So the safety issue. You know, this past year, we had an issue at Bayou Blue that we had a 4-foot fence, and we found out that a little girl could open our gate and walk out. Immediately, the next day, it was a 6-foot fence, and the gate, the latch for the gate is now like at 5 feet. Parents even have to reach up to get it. After that happened, when the Policy Council met again, they said, we also have another issue. We have a safety issue in Lockport at MGC. And if you've ever gone on 308, between the barn and our Head Start is like a racetrack with a road right there. So parents would park on the side of the building, and in Head Start, you can't drop your child off. You have to get out of your car, go into the building, and literally sign your child.
Councilman, can we give her our attention, please?
Sorry. And sign your children in. So we had parents trying to tandem park and then maneuver children, and you know, if they just don't have one, they could have another one with a car seat. And here they are trying to walk in between cars while other cars are backing up onto that highway. So it was very evident that we needed to do something. So we met with the Buildings and Facility Committee, and we came up with a plan. And the plan we came up with was with, and listen, we couldn't function without the barns, all right? With Mr. Nick from Lockport.
None of
and
us could
Mr.
function
Darrell.
without the barns.
I'm sorry,
Just so
what?
you know, none of us could function without the barns.
None of us can function without the barns.
Yeah.
But when we said that we had an issue, they knew exactly what it was. They said, you have a safety issue. I'm surprised the child hasn't gotten hit. So immediately, what did we do? Well, we looked at the other side. And look at the fence back there. Look at all of that wasted space. Well, y'all know, I'm a kindergarten teacher. I could look at that and say, I bet I could get some cars in there. Well, they also said we could do it. So what did we do? We took the fence down. We extended that 6-foot fence going across the side of our building, and we moved that little storage shed in the back. So now we have cars, and this is just for the parents, they park along the side. They're able to walk their children safely into the building. Then they exit going out the back way, and we have a gate back there, so at night, it's not a thoroughfare, it's not a street, and we've saved, we hope we've done something good for safety. Also, our bus does not have to back out on that road now. The bus is able to go that way. So it's one of those things that unless we had such a strong policy council, we wouldn't have known that it was such an issue. But as you can see, it makes a big difference if you've got We have 3- and 4-year-olds over there. We have another issue right now, and it's a playground issue. Now, if you have children or grandchildren, you're going to remember the olden days when you used to take them to the playground, and they had those wooden timbers. They'd get on them, they'd fall, they get splinters in their legs. But there's something else. There's pea gravel in the one on the left. Well, believe it or not, those little kids like to put that pea gravel in their noses, in their ears. Kids are having to go to the doctor, getting all of that removed. So is that a safety problem? Yes. So what we're proposing is that we're going to put this plastic border around and replace the wooden timbers. We're getting rid of the pea gravel, and we're putting in the wooden fibers. This is Veterans in Thibodaux. This is a site that we have 100 children. And we're going to need to do that for this one. We've also had to replace, we had some bumblebees, and believe it or not, the bumblebees, the kids would sit on them, and they had springs so they could rock. Well, the wasp loved them. So we had children getting stung by wasps. So we've had to remove that. We're going to put a couple of, they're called circle cycles, because we have some.
Okay, so you had toy bumblebees that the real wasp loved.
They get
Okay.
up underneath at night. You couldn't believe how fast they can build those nests. So it's an issue. So this is Marydale. Marydale is one of those sites that, thanks to Mr. Jones over here, he gave me a lot of help last year. Because I don't know if you know this, but Marydale is named after his dad. And we had an issue with flooring. And so, I mean, you know, if it's named after your dad, you pick up the phone, and besides, it's in his area. I called him. I said, please come. So he came and he looked at it. He gave me the best advice. He said to Marydale, MLK, and Bayou Blue are our 3 oldest sites. They're 24 years old. And I mean, so we're keeping them up. He said, Vicki, take Marydale, get it fixed, and then put a check mark on it that it's done. Well, that's what we've done. We've had the roof. We didn't change the roof, but we've had it resealed. We've changed both sets of floors now. And you can see we have that soft surface. We have a playground there that's very nice. The other thing we did is, because this is a small site, our children that are 3 feel much more comfortable at that site because it's not as large. So we've made that a 3-year-old site. So we're putting, 2 other things at the site. We have a water and sand table that's going in over there, and we're going to have a shade structure so that it can be underneath the shade structure, because that west sun, this building faced the west, that way the children can stay outside, because we're mandated X number of minutes a day if they're outside for big motor play. So I want to, again, thank Mr. Jones for your help. I listened, and we have done that. We have MLK, that now we have a check mark. It's ready to go. It's done. And we have Marydale. So the next one on our list, let me put this back. So is Bayou Blue. Okay, there you are. Because it's in the I'm looking back here on you, Councilman. It's in our 2019 budget. This one, the playground, is very old. And in the Marydale and MLK, they've both been replaced. What we're going to do in the 2019 budget is replace that playground, that big piece of equipment. The welders have been over there. They've worked on it for us. But they now said, you know, they've done their last thing. They can't do any more, that it's time to replace it. So that is in the budget for this next year. And this also has a new floor. We're getting a new septic tank. We were very excited to find out that they don't consider us commercial because we don't cook food. So we can just get a standard one for $4,500, so that's going in. And then we'll have a check mark at the end of the 2019 budget on Bayou Blue. So again, thank you. I just wanted to show you this one. This is South Lafourche for Mr. Daniel, because he helps us down there. This is a playground, and you can see it's very nice, but we have 60 children down there, so it's quite large. And we had one of our teacher twos that did a mural on the side. So if you go down to South Lafourche, you can go by and see our facility. The other thing, they said, take care of the facilities. Well, sometimes you just can't plan for it, right? We had 6 hot water heaters to go out this summer before the beginning of this school term. 6. So they've all been replaced, and Mr. Liu, our maintenance person, has changed the galvanized pipes for the rest of them. So very excited about that. Remember I said, well, the Policy Council also told us that we needed to do some more work in mental health for our children and our families. And not only did they give us that direction, our health community committee also did. We work with Dr. Pakuda. Dr. Pakuda is up here in Raceland. She comes in once a year to our meetings to give us advice and assistance. And she too said that we needed to do more support for our families and children with mental health. So tonight, in your packet, you'll see resolution number 31, Amendment 1. We had a contract already that you signed, I think it was in February, that it's with the LSU School of Medicine, that we had secured the services of Dr. Kristen Callahan. Dr. Callahan has been with us before. She's a psychologist. She comes in, observes in our classes, and then gives us strategies to work with our children. We also let our parents know that she's coming, so if they would like to come in and meet with her, they can. So that is on your agenda for tonight. So, you know, that's how we're doing it. We come back, we're increasing the amount that of services with Dr. Callahan, but it's with an amendment to something you've already done for us. We have, we're part of accountability with the Louisiana Department of Ed now. You know, your grade schools, your K through 12 schools all get report cards. Well, in pre-K classes, we do also. They're called performance profiles. They won't be out until November the 8th. And what they are is an assessment where the state and local assessors come in, they observe our classrooms. They give us numerical scores on our classrooms in the area of emotional support, classroom organization, and instructional support. Now, these are published just like the schools in the newspaper, and we get graded. And so we are competing not only with Head Starts, but we're also competing with Terrebonne and Lafourche, all over, the whole state. Everybody has the same assessment. We're also charged for our kids to leave us kindergarten ready. And so we use the same assessment that the state does, TS Gold. And that judges how our children are performing and the improvements they are making. In order to keep our scores high in class, we're small. We don't have a lot of subs. I have 8 subs that I can hire a day, substitute teachers. Now, I have 3 teachers right now out of 30 on long-term disability. So that means I have 5 subs. So in Head Start, you work. You are trained to do just about everything but drive the bus. We can't do that. But if you're a meal tech and I need you and we're shorthanded, we'll put you in the classroom. Now that could also be the day the state's walking in to do our class assessment. So everyone's trained on class. They're trained on how to interact, support our children, how to ask questions. And because of this cross-training, I have people today that have been serving meals in Thibodaux because we're so shorthanded. So we're small, but we make it work. We also, our class assessment is TS Gold for our children. We bring in national trainers to help our teachers know what to do. This past year, Ms. Rainey, who is from Central Lafourche, was a former Head Start student, and she is our scholarship winner for 2018. This is the amount of money we have. We have federal funds that make up 80% of our budget. We also have non-federal funds that meaning everybody here, has to contribute to. Well, that also means my teachers. And they absolutely keep up with the number of minutes those parents go in to work. Now, these three ladies were the top in the parish. They averaged about $3,000 a month of in-kind, keeping up with it. And it's not easy. They're grading everything. And believe me, when the auditors come in, our documentation has to be very good to get credit for this. So I would just like to congratulate everybody, including our Barnes and y'all and everybody, for the help to get the in-kind that we needed. We're advertising for a new Head Start director right now. And just so you'll understand the protocol, the Head Start director is the one position that everybody gets to select. We do an interview, we make a selection. That selection and all of that interview process goes to Dallas. They give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. What they're doing is really making sure that that person has the credentials that they need. Once we receive that approval from Dallas, then we'll come to you and our policy council, and you'll make that decision whether that person is going to be your next Head Start director. But it will be from approval of both of those people. Both of those agencies.
Miss Vicky,
Yes.
excuse me, can you repeat that again?
It's the guidelines from Head Start. It's mandated that when we do technically there are 3 positions that have to go through this process. But because we're elected officials, you don't have to follow that process with Head Start for the finance director and for the HR director, only the Head Start director. So the Head Start director will be approved first by Dallas, thumbs up or thumbs down, and then that Head Start director will be approved by this body and the policy council. So
Now, if one says no, then it's no?
then you'll have to go, it'll become an impasse, and then you'll have to go, it's like I don't want to say it's an arbitration, but it's a discussion. There is an impasse for that.
Okay.
And so you go to a general person and try to work out the differences. I don't think you're going to have a problem.
Well,
You know, they're
just
yeah,
asking on the
yeah,
process.
Yeah. And we've done a wage comparability with all the Head Starts around. And we are going to ask for a salary increase for the new director. It's not going to be as much probably as like Terrebonne and some of the others, but it will be comparable to what we have other directors in the parish right now. And this is the last year of the 5-year grant. And so what that means is that the next 5-year grant application in 2020 will have to be submitted in October of 2019. So the administration and y'all will have a decision whether you want, because I don't anticipate us having any problems. So I'm thinking they're going to offer it again. But you'll have to decide whether you want to reapply for another 5 years, or would you rather that grant come up for recompetition. So that'll be something, I have a lady from Dallas coming in November. If you have questions, or if you'd like to meet with her to ask her those specific questions, I can make those arrangements. I'll let you know, okay? Because I know you're going to have questions about that, because I don't have the answers to that. It's a big thing closing out a grant. And the last, not all superheroes have capes, but a lot of them work for the Head Start in Lafourche, okay? A lot of them. We have a great, wonderful staff They're caring, they love the children, and they do the parish proud, all right? So thank y'all so much. Do you have any questions?
Mr. Paraloo?
I just have a comment, Ms. Vicky. You started your presentation off by stating the things that you guys noticed and were proactive with child safety items. Thank you for that. Because too often,
Yeah.
agencies, organizations wait until something happens to start implementing safety protocol. So thank you very much. We don't need any children getting hurt or even
No.
parents getting hurt. So I appreciate that. I'm sure everyone on the council appreciates your proactivity on that. So thank you.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, Ms. Vicky, thank you. Meredith looks good.
Thank you.
MLK looks good.
Yes, it does.
If you need any more money for Bayou Blue, this is the time. And I'm not stepping over your foot, Mr. Jacuzo, but I know we can get it in place. I'll work with you to put it if we need it. So
That would be perfect, because we definitely need to replace that playground equipment. I know that's probably not high on your priority, but it's a safety thing, and,
it's high.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's high.
okay. And then,
so-
where's Mr. Nooney? We're gonna need another one the next year in Lockport, okay? Or we're gonna need a few more playgrounds in Lockport.
So, I mean, if
So that'll be 2020. But thank you so much.
can email me or talk to Mr. Jacuzo and see how much we need, and we can get together and,
Okay.
and put
Well,
it in
the
the budget.
monies, the extra monies that y'all gave last year, that is the reason. It freed up so much that we were able to take care of all of these things. I mean, we'd have never been able to look at that driveway in Lockport. But Lord help us, it was needed. As you can see, I mean, who would have thought we'd have had that much wasted space? And like I said, had it not been for the barn to come in and help us, we'd have never been able to do it. But Mr. James, everybody has been so supportive.
Evidently, your policy council board is on target too, because
Yes.
they recommend and you adhere and get it did. So
Well,
appreciate it.
It's a work, and you know, we have, if you don't know, we have 51% of our policy council, they're our parents. And when I showed you that picture of the policy, I don't know if I might have missed it, but we have a parent, let me get back over here so I show it to you, and then I'm gonna get away. Oh, this is Miss Sierra. Miss Sierra right here is a parent, and this is her second year for being president of our policy council. So 51% of our members have to be parents. So, but thank you.
Mr. Melvin, the liaison to Head Start?
Yes, Ms. Vicky, I wanted to thank you, wish you well, and I was a little surprised to hear you were going, but hey, I guess you put your time in and deserve
Well,
a break.
I told you why.
Yes,
But we're
ma'am.
not gonna say it right here, since
No.
it's gonna be recorded.
Right. So,
It's an age thing, y'all.
well, thank you so much, and I appreciate,
Thank you.
again, what y'all have done.
Thank you. Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Otan?
Yeah, so Ms. Vicky, y'all will always have my support, absolutely, and everything y'all do. And as a point of reference, I'm thankful that the board took the action and rerouted the driveway, if you will. What ended up happening, they put more traffic on the back road, and believe it or not, I got backlash from the community because all of a sudden the street had traffic on it. But as I've expressed to them, it's a public street, and just as they have access to it, everyone else should have access to it. But they came to me that there should have been a community meeting, and before the council voted on it, I explained to them it was emergency action, didn't require the council's attention, and it was just moved on by the board, which rightfully so. So anyway, just wanted to point that out. But you'll always have my support, Ms. Vicky.
Ms. Vicky, when's your last day?
I don't know, we had an application, it was supposed to end today, but we had to extend it, so as they extend it, I'll stay a little longer. There'll be a small transition between the
Okay.
start directors, but it won't be for long term.
I just want to know when I can go eat some cake. Mr. Daniel?
Yeah, just good luck. And you and I had an issue with parking in South Lafourche, and we addressed that, and I never heard anything back, so I'm assuming we did the right thing. Nobody ever complained back, right?
Right.
So evidently you did it right. You had some good guidance. Hey, ma'am, you had some good guidance.
Anyone else? Thank you so much, Ms. Vicky. C, legal advisor report, none. D, public wishing to address the council, public hearings, agenda items, et cetera. Any public wishing to address the council, Ms. Carleen?
Ms. Charlene Rodriguez, if you come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, Ms. Rodriguez, and please remember you have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. Charlene Rodriguez, Post Office Box 500, Raceland, Louisiana. I'm just here this afternoon to, I guess as a public service announcement, for my prescription drug plan assistance. Right now, it's open enrollment for Medicare Part D, and that's for anybody who's on Medicare who isn't through the federal government, state government, or teacher retirement funds. They should be on a prescription drug plan, which is considered Part D, for anyone 65 or older or disabled for 2 years, anyone on Medicare. And that open enrollment started October 15th through December 7th. Now's the time to check the prescription drug plans. We do that at the Council on Aging office. Now's the time to make your appointment. I have one girl working every half hour from October 15th through December 7th, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 1 on Friday. She's booked solid right now. So if anybody needs to make an appointment, now's the time. I'm going to back her up, and I'm going to try to get another office staff to back them up. We're willing to work overtime if we need to, but right now, like I've told y'all before, these plans change from year to year, so if your plan is covered this year, you know, all your prescriptions, it may not be covered next year. Or your prescription drug plan may be going out and another one may be coming in. So now's the time to give our office a call and make your appointment so that we could check it out for you.
Now explain,
Thank
just
you.
slowly, who
Real
needs
slow?
to contact you to look at their information?
Anyone on Medicare.
Anyone on Medicare, currently on Medicare?
That is receiving Medicare Part D is on the prescription drug plan. Anyone that's a teacher who has credible coverage, or anyone who has credible coverage, like from a state plan, a federal plan, or teacher's retirement, they already have credible coverage. Or if someone's working in 65 and they have a prescription drug plan, they have credible coverage, so they don't need to do that. But anyone else who's 65 or older, retired, just on Medicare, they need to look into it.
And it's a problem if they don't, right?
Right,
And
because
you and I
once-
talked about a penalty.
Right. They
Explain
do
what
have a-
happens
Okay,
there,
if
because some people
they-
don't.
If they don't apply when they should, when they're 65, and they don't have credible coverage, you get a penalty of 1% for every month that you could have enrolled and you didn't. So
And you're forced, and it comes out your social security check,
does.
right? You don't
It
get,
does.
and that's even if you're not taking any medication.
Exactly.
You still have to get this
You still have to
plan.
enroll. And what we do for those who don't have any medication, we look at all the plans, and the cheapest plan for them is the one that we tell them they should go with. Because, you know, you don't want that penalty. Let's say 5 years down the line, you're looking at 5 times 12 is 60, so that's 60%, you know, penalty, plus your plan. So it gets expensive after a while.
Yeah, I wish we could, I don't know if the newspaper could help us get the word out, because I've had people that are now paying penalties till
Right.
forever, probably.
And we did have the comment in the Gazette help us out with that, and we're working on that too.
Okay, so
so,
again, this year, I
right.
don't know if the administration can do anything to help, but
Okay.
people just don't realize. Okay, you,
I did. There we go.
Ms. Carleen said she didn't realize it. Jerry Jones told her about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But you,
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any other
questions?
comments?
Yes.
Mr. Lorraine?
Yeah, how's the organization doing with, now that you got your millage tax and
It's going
should
well.
be,
We're gonna have. a
how are
little-
we doing?
We're doing good. We, gonna have a committee get together on the 29th of October to see what else we could help the seniors with in the parish. So if y'all have any ideas, please let
So-
me know.
Your collection last year was just as good as the year before?
Maybe a little less, but yeah.
A little less, but not
Yeah,
really
Not,
that great amount?
no.
Okay.
What do you mean by help the seniors with?
Like, right now, we do, personal care, transportation, nutrition, things like that. What do you feel like the seniors would need? What type of need there is in the parish that maybe we could help seniors with?
Okay, I'm sure y'all surveyed the seniors, right, to see
Right,
what
we do,
they're...
we do.
And have they given you all any ideas?
Yes, we did. We did our 4-year area plan, and that's what I came to speak to y'all about before, and I don't remember the top 5, but that's what we were focusing on. But if y'all see there's another need somewhere, and I do need to work with the fire department, because that was one of our things that maybe we could coincide with them for, like fire extinguishers if they need it in the home, or maybe the smoke detectors, or, things like that. Maybe we could work with the fire departments to help install if we could purchase it for them, or, something like that. Something that there's a need for that they're not getting. And I know the fire department helps out a lot with them, to do that already, but maybe we could help out some with that too. And
Mr.
that's just
LaFont.
a few things,
Might be a good idea, I don't know if you could do it, but with all the absentee voting going on, maybe you could have somebody handing out a paper letting the elderly know, the people 65 and older, letting them know.
Right.
Might be a good idea.
We do have brochures too, and maybe they could help us with ideas
Yeah,
too.
and get them going there, while they're here.
You're right. Sounds good.
I know, I wish the seniors had more to do with recreation. I know when we do have events, especially for the holidays, it's wall-to-wall,
Right.
packed, and, just because you get to be a senior citizen doesn't mean you don't want to have a good time anymore. And
Right.
there's nothing in the area I find to do, on a regular basis.
A lot of times you want to do things with them, like at our senior sites when they're open, and they don't want to participate. And the younger older people don't want to do what the older people want, because the older people want bingo.
Right.
Okay, so that too, we're trying to figure out different things, maybe more exercise, maybe. We thought about line dancing. One of my centers said they tried that. It worked for a week or two, and then it was enough. Once they learned it, that's it. So I'm just trying to brainstorm and figure out what, if, how, and what we could do to assist.
Yeah, I know y'all do a good job with what y'all
Thank you.
have. It just seems like there should be more, just that the community comes out to support. I know you.
Right.
Okay.
I know when we did have our shrimp bowl, and
What's,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Mr. Lorraine? LaFont, your mic's
It's-
not on.
It's
Let the record show that Daniel got his done.
it's expired.
It's expired.
In 18, it expires. I got to get another one for 19. Oh, by the way, what about the Meals on Wheels?
What about them? They're
Is
doing great. They're
doing good?
great. Mhm.
Now, one time we were short on, but everything's okay on that.
We serve over 400 meals a day.
That's people that probably, that's all they get to eat, some of them.
Some of them, that's the only people they see, too.
And they get to see somebody that comes to the house. And thank you to give my cord back.
And they don't expire, Daniel. You're just going to get a new card if your social security number's on there. I'm telling you. Lesson. I taught him something tonight.
Okay, anyone else? All right.
Thank
Thank you so
y'all.
much. Ms. Carleen, anyone else? E, engineer, architect reports. Glad to see you here, Heather.
Hello. Heather Klingman, Duplantis Design Group, 314 East Bayou Road. All right. So first project, I guess the first two projects, Timberland Pump Station, if I remember that project bid, we need some additional funding from the state, which we're just waiting on the state to run through that process. So hopefully we'll hear something soon, hopefully in the next month, next 2 months, and we can get that project going once those additional funds are allocated. Next one is a parish-wide pump station project. This is some trash screens that are going to be going in on various projects. The levee district has projects going on at Al Robichaud and Edgar Gidgey right now, so we just want to make sure that all that gets done so we're not kind of going on top of one another there. So once those are done, then we'll go ahead and move this one forward. Layton Pump Station, FEMA GOSEP had requested some additional information as it relates to the cost-benefit analysis. So we've submitted that to them. We're just waiting on them to kind of go through that formal process and give the final go-ahead on it.
Do we have, that pump's been overwhelmed for a long time. Do we have, that pump station, I should say?
Yes.
Do we have any idea, timeline?
I mean, look, I'm hoping, it's been a while, that they've, been looking at the information back and forth. I hate to say it, but it's essentially getting the numbers to work as far as the benefits that you're getting and looking at it compared to the cost of the pump station. So they've got the info, they're looking at it. I'm going to reach out to the girl at the state tomorrow and just kind of make sure that there's nothing that they're waiting on us for, and just kind of try to get a timeline so we can, because, yeah, it's been a while. The money's there. It's allocated, just waiting on those guys
And if there's
to kinda
anything
go
that we
through
can do, or if the administration
Yes.
can do, will you just let us know?
Yes, ma'am, I will. Community center project, there's some movement on this. So the project was, the council voted to award the project to onshore construction. I believe it was at the last meeting, $3,794,000 and change. We are going to issue the notice to proceed, which is going to be dated on November 1st. So that's going to get going pretty quickly here. And it's a year contract time, so completion would be November of 2019. What's that? No. Streetlight permitting, there's nothing going on right now. We don't have any permits that we're working on, so there's nothing there. Home elevations, we just finished what I believe is probably going to be the last home that's going to be elevated under this program. I think there were a total of originally 13 homes, but I think I've mentioned this before. On this particular program, the homeowners are required to put up to 25% of the cost, and a lot of them just can't afford that. So these are the 4 that have been completed. I don't think any of the rest of them are actually gonna do anything. So I think the grant department is probably just going to go through the process of closing that out. But just to show you, this was 212 Napoleon Street. This is the finished product on what was done. So it turned out good. Heroes Park improvements. This is a project that we have over at Heroes Park. It's kind of a twofold project. First part of it is to replace the light fixtures in the existing ballparks with new LED, more energy efficient light fixtures. And then the second part of it is to do a layout on that 12 acres of property that the parish has purchased. I believe it was this year. So right now we're working with the administration on the budget and trying to figure out which fixtures we want to use. There's a pretty wide range in fixtures. You can go the Cadillac version. You can go, something less than the Cadillac. So we're just trying to figure out, make sure we're getting the right combination to where we can get the most, bang for our buck on that. And that's it. Any questions?
Mr. Jones?
Yes, Heather. You said 12 acres of property on
I think it's about 12 acres.
13.4 acres.
13.4,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't want to lose 1.4
We're not
acres.
going to lose it. In fact, if you know where you got that exact 13.4 maps, I could use those maps. So maybe I'll touch base with you on that.
Mr. Lorraine?
Yeah, on that drainage project, the second one you showed, how long we been talking about that?
Which one? Which one is it?
That one, the one for the pumps or whatever?
Timberland Pump Station and Parish Wide. They've been hanging around for a long time.
That's why I'm
Yes.
asking you.
Yes.
Because it's been 3 years with this bunch, and it was there way before that.
Yep. Yep.
And nothing was never really done?
Well, it's Timberland. We are, like I said, that one was bid. We're waiting for additional funding from the state. And on Parish-wide, there's 2 levee district projects that are going on right now that they have 2 pump stations that are in the vicinity of where this is, so we don't want to have 2 contractors
So what you
working.
got on Yankee Canal pump?
On Yankee, I'm trying to remember, Yankee Canal, there's a new trash rack.
Is what?
A trash rack. New trash.
You know how much
screen.
trash we're gonna suck in before we get the rack?
Yeah, I know. Well, I think there were some improvements that were actually done. Maybe it's a minor, nothing, it wasn't anything significant. But yeah, yep, I know.
And
Yes,
that's
sir.
behind my house.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah.
Is that it? Okay, thank you, Heather.
Okay, thank you.
Any other engineers? Motion to open public hearings by Paraloo, second by Lafon. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacant. Number 11, ordinance amending.
I'd like to
ordinance-
defer that, please, before you read it all.
Oh, thank you. Defer to when?
Next meeting. Since nobody's here to answer questions, I got questions about it. I'll wait.
What's the date, Ms. Carleen?
November 13th.
November 13th? Yeah. Yes, move to November 13th, defer to 13th by Lafont, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8001. Vacant. Number 12, ordinance amending ordinance number 1621 to reduce the speed limit from 20 miles per hour to 10 miles per hour on Schneider Lane, Ward 6, District 2, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, providing for the placement of speed limit, speed check by radar, and children at play signs, and providing penalties for the violation thereof. Moved by Paraloo, second by Otan. Any discussion? Public, one time, two times, three times? Anything from the council? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8001. Vacant. Number 13, ordinance approving an act of donation between Lafourche Parish Government and Drainage District Number 1 for the donation of one drum grinder, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said donation in any and all relevant documents. Moved by Otan. Second by Paraloo. Any discussion from the public? One time, two times, three times? Any discussion from the council? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8001. Vacant. Number 14, ordinance approving a party wall and cross-access easement servitude agreement between Regency Cutoff LLC and Lafourche Parish Government, authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement in any and all relevant documents. Moved by Lorraine, second by Paraloo. Any discussion from the public? One time, two times, three times? Anything from the council? Lafont?
Somebody tell me what a party wall is? Because it
There's-
looks like it might be a cement wall. I'm just trying to figure out what
Yeah, I
what
don't
we
know what it
involved
is
in it
either.
for, what is it, and
No one's here to answer questions, so I won't.
The only thing I can tell you from what it seems like, it's property boundary. This one, according to what's in
are they
there.
building a cement wall?
No, not that I know. A party
It says
wall
a
is we're gonna
cement
go,
wall.
we're gonna go party.
It says a cement wall. I'm gonna abstain for lack of knowledge.
Well, if you want me to defer it, I will. I mean,
Yeah. No,
I'm not going to vote for it, Mr. Daniel, because since,
second if we want to defer it.
if you want to defer it.
well, I'm gonna defer it.
Okay, Mr. Paraloo's pulling a second. You're going to pull your motion, Mr. Daniel?
Yeah, I
Yes,
just
you
told
pulled
you.
your motion.
Till
LaFont, you have
November the
something else?
13th, November the 13th.
LaFont, you have something else?
no, I'm sorry.
Okay, divert to November 13th. Moved by Lorraine, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Ms. Lorraine, you had something else?
No.
Any opposed? Passes 8001 with the faking.
We have the public hearing.
Okay, so we had the public hearing. All right, moved by Paraloo to close public hearing, second by LaFawn. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8001. Vacancy. Mr. Otan.
Item G, proposed ordinances. Number 15, proposed ordinance rescinding ordinance numbers 5781, 5782, and 5999 as it pertains to recreation districts of Chapter 34, Article 9, Recreation Districts, Sections 34-209 through Section 34-219 of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances, and reenacting Chapter 34, Article 9, Recreation Districts, Sections 34-209 through 34-219 of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances, hereby reverting the recreation districts back prior to the adoption of ordinance numbers 5781, 5782, and 5999 by Councilman Paraloo. Item number 16, proposed ordinance providing for a 2018 supplemental appropriation 18-024 within the 2018 operations and maintenance budget transfer funds from the Emergency Fund 174 fund balance to the General Fund 001, Department of Corrections 00142300 for feeding the prisoners and maintenance at the jail, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter by Councilman Lorraine for the administration. Item number 17, proposed ordinance providing for a 2018 supplemental appropriation 18-026 within the 2018 operations and maintenance budget to increase the budget for the elevation of 7 qualified properties that are funded under the 2017 Flood Mitigation Assistance Grant Program and homeowners cost share of up to 25%, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter by Councilman Lorraine for the administration. Item 18, proposed ordinance providing for a 2018 supplemental appropriation 18-027 within the 2018 operations and maintenance budget to set up the budget for the installation of a new water line along East 44th Street in the amount of $47,180, and for the upgrade of the water lines on West 23rd Street in the amount of $43,537, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter by Councilman LaFont for the administration. And then that concludes proposed ordinances.
H, resolutions. Number 19, resolution appointing one member to Lafourche Parish Planning Commission Board. That's by Council Paralew, deferred from 8/28/18 and 9/11/18 LPC meetings. Mr. Paralew, do you have someone?
I do. I would like to nominate Mr. Nicholas Guidry. Today he received the ethics opinion back from the state, and he is free and clear to serve on that board. So congratulations, Mr. Nick. You are being nominated.
Can I get a second? Second by LaFont. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacancy. I see Nick is here. Did you have anything you wanted to say, Nick? I sure thank you for agreeing to do this. It's not like I know your plate's already full, but.
Nicholas Guidry, 6236 Highway 308, Lockport. I just want to thank the council for the opportunity of doing this. And, you know, when I had put my application in, Mr. Paralew had asked me, man, why you want to get involved with this stuff? And really, it's just to bring what we see in the field, especially with the drainage, to the table. When a lot of these newer subdivisions and all are coming to the table, to make sure that we're looking for the future as well, and not just in the developer's eyes. So thank you for the opportunity, and I'll do my best.
Thank you, Nick. Okay.
I'm going to pull number 2.
You, number 20?
20, I'm sorry.
Okay. Pull?
Pull.
Pull or defer?
The
Pull?
reason why I want to pull it is because we already voted on it.
Oh, gotcha, yeah, okay.
And
Number
the
28.
reason why it's on the agenda is because I made a motion to defer it to the 23rd. But we had to take action before the 6th or the 10th, and we took action and it failed, so it's over with.
Okay. 21, resolution, Mr. Lorraine, you had something else? 21, resolution supporting the LA1 Coalition for their funding request to the state of Louisiana for fiscal year 2018, state surplus funds to construct Phase 2, Segment C of the Louisiana Highway 1 Improvement Project, Louisiana 1 Project in the Golden Meadow, Louisiana. Moved by Councilman Lorraine, second by Paralew.
I see we have Mr. Boulay, he can explain it.
Yeah, I asked Ms. Carlene to put this on the agenda, and after speaking with you, Mr. Henri Boulay, Henri Boulay, could you come
I'm
and?
glad to see he made it back from Washington, because when I talked to him on the phone, he was in Washington. They were charging you.
Yes, so thank you all very much for hearing the resolution today. My name is Henri Boulay.
Say your name and address.
Yes, Henri Boulay, 4617 South Saratoga Street, New Orleans, director of the LA1 Coalition. And again, I reached out to most of you to explain the opportunity here. As you know, in late September, the governor identified $300 million in state surplus from the state's last budget year that ended in June. He has to spend about a third of that on retiring state debt, but the other $200 million he has to spend on one-time construction projects. So this is the smallest segment of the 8.3 miles we have left to do. It's 3/4 of a mile long. It is shovel-ready, and we're asking the governor to consider funding that at this time. So thank you for your consideration on this. We do have various industrial groups sending in letters. chambers of commerce, and different groups from the community. So, and I spoke about it today at the DOTD public hearing for District 2, which takes in all of our parishes. There was a public hearing in New Orleans on needs of the region. So I asked them to consider that because it was the Joint Transportation Committee that was having that hearing, and they would be part of the approval process if we get on the governor's list. So,
Mr. Lorraine?
So that would be from the Anagola Meta to crossing the levee by
yes,
the
sir.
locks?
A couple of hundred, not by the locks. It's
not by the locks?
It's going to cross the levee a little further north. We had to cross the levee at a certain place where the Corps of Engineers approved of us doing so.
I was trying to stretch it.
There you go, there you go.
From here to...
Mr. Jones?
Yeah, Mr. Chairwoman, I'd like to get a unanimous second on this, more impact.
I agree. Everyone's in favor of it, I'm certain. Anyone's opposed? Being none opposed, we have a unanimous second. And so we'll have
Thank you.
this to add to your stack of supporters.
Great, great. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for coming out. '22, resolution reappointing one member to the Veterans Memorial District of Ward 10. Oh, did we vote? Did we vote on? We did a unanimous second?
Yeah. Motion and unanimous second.
Okay. Ooh, scared me a minute, Corey.
Oh, okay. For the veterans?
Y'all, no, did one of y'all oppose it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, okay. Number 22, resolution appointing one member to the Veterans Memorial District of Ward 10 Board, moved by Lorraine. Who do you have?
Yes, Mr. Pat Pico, he wants to be back on it, and he's the only one.
Second by LaFont. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Number 23, resolution appointing one member on the Lafourche Parish Children and Youth Planning Board, Mr. Otan.
Yes, so representing the Lafourche Parish Coroner's Office, where she's doing a wonderful job, I nominate Kayla Benoit.
Kayla Benoit by Otan, second by Paralou. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacancy. 24, resolution appointing one member on the Fire Protection District Number 8B Board. Someone move on that for me?
For you.
Mr. Paralou?
On your behalf, I'd like to nominate Chris Petrie.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Melvin. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacancy. 25, resolution appointing one member of the Lafourche Parish Water District Number 1 Board, moved by Lorraine. Who do you have? Put your mic on, Mr. Daniel.
Dennis Switzer, only one applicant.
Okay. Moved by Lorraine, second by Paralou. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacancy. 26, resolution appointing one member on the Juvenile Justice Commission Board. Mr. Lorraine?
Yes, there was only one member there, too, and Dwayne Repstock.
Moved by Lorraine, Dwayne Rebstock, second by Paralou. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. 27, resolution reappointing one member on the Heroes Monument Commission Board. Mr. Otan, who do you have?
Yes, a reappointment of Miss Lori Colley.
Ms. Kale by Otan, second by Paralou. Any discussion? Mr. Daniel? Being none, all in favor? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Mr. Daniel, if that's the worst problem we have tonight, we're in good shape. 28, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Lafourche Parish Drainage District Number 1 for one drum grinder model number 1100 to be used by Lafourche Parish Government for work within the Lafourche Parish Drainage District Number 1 area, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Otan, second by?
Second.
Second by Lorraine.
I just want to take time to thank the Drainage District because I can tell you right now, they buy us a lot of things that they can afford to buy. And every time they buy something for that district, the parish doesn't have to come up with the money. Very seldom the parish is going to match them. Very seldom the parish is going to match them. Do I say it 3 times?
Yeah.
Very seldom the parish is going to match them. So they really help us a lot, and I want to thank that board for what they do.
Anyone else? Mr. Otan?
Yeah, I'm just gonna echo, Councilman Lorraine's, yeah, those guys are doing a great job, and I sure appreciate it moving forward. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1, vacancy. Number 29, resolution approving amendment number 1 to Louisiana Housing Corporation Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LAHEAP, agreement fiscal year 10/1/2017 to 9/30/2019, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Moved by OTAS, second by? Second by? Second by? Oh, second by Lafont? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see. Any discussion? Mr. Jones?
Yes, at this time, I'd like to have this deferred. They got a lot of questions that's unanswered. I think the majority of it got an email from Mr. Abedy today, and the federal guidelines, LAHEAP employee can only do a LAHEAP work. As it stands right now, they said LAHEAP don't have to come before the council for CSBG workers doing LAHEAP program. Unethical. So, to get some clarification on this, I really would like to defer this.
You had more, Mr. Jones?
I move as a motion.
Oh, Mr. Otan?
Yeah, so as y'all know, I respect, Mr. Jones's opinions. My only dilemma is that we've been delaying, and we had gotten an opinion from, our district attorney in which she specifically told us that her office had been in contact with representatives of the Louisiana Workforce Commission, and that they had reached out to CAPLAW, the Community Action Program Legal Services, for guidance for many of these issues. And according to their summation, it is my understanding that the LAHEAP grant funds are HUD, Housing and Urban Development, and not CSBG, Community Services Block Grant Base. Accordingly, it goes on to state that as a result, there should be no problem with getting these funds approved following the LAHEAP grant guidelines. Basically, it states the Community Action Advisory Board is responsible only for approval of CSBG funds. So based on the opinion that I had got, all these delays we've been having because nobody wants to meet, everybody's at odds with each other, and so nobody kind of wants to get along. My thought from when I saw this opinion was that as a council, we needed to move forward. So that's the dilemma where I stand. I just feel like it's time, the CSBG items can continue to wait for the advisory board, but in my opinion, all the LAHEAP should move forward according to that opinion we got. Unless somebody can tell me different.
Well, Mr. Jones wasn't
I'm gonna
referencing
tell you
that issue, he was go ahead, Mr. Jones.
The question is, who will work LAHEAP program? CSBG employees getting paid out of CSBG fund has to go to the advisory board.
Which doesn't want to meet. Hasn't for the last 2 months when we've been in this critical time, right?
I just got an email, a board meeting been scheduled for November 14th. And that's from the advisory board president. Did y'all get it? Council member?
542.
Yeah, no, the last 2 months I didn't get anything saying that.
Well, I just got that.
Mr. Lorraine, you had something?
Yes, if you look at the opinion, the advisory board has nothing to do with LAHEAP, but CSBG, they do. And some of that money is coming from CSBG. And it tells you that in Miss Christine Russell's opinion. They cannot, this administration cannot fool with the CSBG. So it ties everybody up.
This is for the LaHeap.
Yeah, but it tells you.
But Jones was referencing earlier an email, that's what I wanted you to clarify. You were referencing an email from an employee.
And
that
what's
was
gonna
explained-
happen, wait a minute, what's gonna happen if y'all pass this? You're gonna come back in non-compliance, I'm telling y'all. And you know what non-compliance is gonna be? You're gonna get cut out. And that's coming. That's coming. That's about this close on a piece of thread. And it's about to happen. You got guidelines you have to follow. I don't know who's gonna understand that it's complicated. Probably the only two that knows a little bit about community action is Jones and I. I haven't seen many of y'all at a community action meeting. I used to go to all of them, but I go to some of them. And it's very complicated. But you gotta watch what you're doing. You're gonna end up losing.
Okay, you're
in
saying you disagree
non-compliance.
with the DA opinion, is that what you're arguing? Or are you talking
Yes,
about
they're
what
saying
Jones
it-
is saying?
That you can only handle the heap if you're gonna mess with CSBG. It's gotta be the advisory board and the council.
But this is the LaHeap.
I understand,
Item.
but they're using some CSGB for the
Okay, so
heap.
that brings me back to
Well,
Jones's.
am I right, Jerry, or wrong?
That's what I was trying to get him to explain. He said something about an email, but he explained why there's a problem with the payroll.
The
So-
employees for community action is getting paid out of CSBG.
And that was
See-
in an email today?
No, that was it's been, I mean, that's in the contract. CSBG employees does LaHeap work. There's no employee getting paid out of LaHeap, all out of CSBG. And CSBG, at times, pay utility bills for LaHeap. And the finance director is here. I'm pretty sure she can answer that.
I don't think she's allowed to answer any questions today.
She's not allowed to answer questions.
That's excellent. Can you answer them for her?
I was
You know
just
that?
told that the administration, I don't want to put the employees in a bad position. I was told that they're not to answer questions today, so
Say not to answer questions,
I-
actually defer it till somebody get here to answer the question.
okay, Mr. Melvin.
Yeah, not necessarily to do with this item, but I am curious, and I'm not putting anybody on the spot, but I would like to know, do we have an answer as to why they're not here? Because I don't know. I mean, is there an answer? Can anybody give us an answer?
I
as to
think
why
all that
y'all-
we've heard is hearsay, and I really don't want to,
I'm not,
I
I
don't-
mean, I'm supposed to, I'm just asking if anybody who was told not to answer questions, if they can answer, at least tell us, if they can, I don't have to answer questions, but at least why they,
I don't want to put the employees in that situation
Okay,
if you don't
just
mind,
curious,
Mr.
I'm just
Melvin. I
making sure.
understand you wanting,
people have a right to know, what we're doing here.
I'm sure they'll
So how
make-
can you honestly
Just a
vote on
minute,
this if
Mr.
you can't
Daniel.
get
Mr.
an
Daniel,
answer?
just a minute. We need to give the other people a chance to speak. Mr. Grow.
Nowhere, all it says is LaHeap in this. That's why, I don't know why we're gonna stall the LaHeap stuff. I got the email at 5:42 from Reverend Boyd that they were gonna meet on November 14th. That came through since we've been here. That doesn't mean they're gonna meet. I talked to him 2 meetings ago. I mentioned at the last meeting that I called him the Wednesday morning because they thought they were in violation and we'd get in trouble and didn't want to break the law by meeting. He told me, Mr. Grow, I'm going to call a meeting. I can't promise you anybody's going to show up. Councilwoman Esposito can call all the meetings she wants. That doesn't mean we're going to come. I don't want to wait any longer. I mean, we got an opinion saying we can act on LaHeap stuff. I think we should act on it. We can't wait any longer. They could have met all year. They haven't met since March.
So how many
We're in
meetings have you
October.
attended?
I'm not saying I need to attend. I saw a DA opinion that referenced one thing that we can control. It's on the agenda, let's roll. That's my only point.
Mr. LaFont.
My only concern is I was told last meeting that if we didn't approve it by a certain date, we lose the money automatically. So that's my concern. And there was a deadline on voting this LAHEAP money in by a certain deadline.
Mr.
So-
Otan, did you know of any date that,
There's lots of dates and always different ones. Some of this is through 2019. Some of them had October, but it was delayed, so they talked with them. But specifically, I'm focused in on the opinion from the district attorney that tells me that this grant could be forfeited, the advisory board did not take immediate action. The part I can move on, which is this, I want to move on. As far as who pays the employees, I'm not involved in that. As far as I know, that could be some volunteer, that could be the parish, I don't know, can the parish president have someone from administration doing this? And not be taking any of that grant money?
They're not gonna have the money. They ain't got nobody to pay it.
So, I mean, how he gets paid, I don't think, that's not important of this resolution. The part of the resolution that I see is totally fine based on the district attorney's opinion, unless somebody specifically can tell me that part differently. To me, I'm kind of like Mike, I hate to keep delaying it. And I know there's others tonight, maybe it'll be a little different on the other ones. But this one specifically, it says nothing about CSBG, nothing at all. It specifically says LAHEAP, and that's all. And according to district attorney's opinion, LAHEAP is controlled by the council. So I want to do my duty and approve the LAHEAP. The CSBG, I'm not bringing up, I agree, I'm not voting on that because that has to go to the advisory board.
Mr. Melvin?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I just think, I remember them telling me that there was a deadline on this, and I think it's pretty close, and I'm almost feeling like them, it's LAHEAP money, all we doing here is accepting the money, right? Is all we doing is accepting it. I'd hate to lose money because we failed to act on a thing, and it's very saddening to know that the administration wouldn't be here for any reason, but I just don't want to have to lose money for our people.
Mr. Melvin?
Yes, I know that sometimes we can't always agree, and sometimes we have to agree to disagree, and, you know, I'm just concerned about us losing the money. I know I had a project, I was supposed to have a pump in my district since 2011, and that was done away with, and I didn't like it. The state threatened to take the money, and we had to move on, and, you know, I hate to see it, because down the road, depending on what we do or don't do, you know, our I guess, sins of omission and commission, things we do or fail to do, again, might affect people that we're not intending to affect because something's going on, maybe some disagreements with the board. And I mean, look, I don't even know if we can remove some of the board members if it keeps on like this, but I'll be looking at that myself because, you know, this has to end somewhere.
Mr. Jones?
Yeah, to reiterate, it wasn't the board members. Board members was meeting. The parish president cut the board members from meeting. Need to get that straight. June 18th was the board meeting scheduled. He walks in and shut everything down. So let's clear it up. It's not the board members. Board members are doing their job. As December 2014, similar situation happened. The funds got suspended until March 2015. The board came back and restructured, did their job. And now it started all over again. The state even came in 3 hours training. Everything was on the table. CSBG workers does LAHEAP, the bottom line. And if the funds are coming from directly out of LAHEAP, that's different, but they are not. They're not. CSBG sometimes, a good number of times, pays utility bills for residents in this parish. So that's, all these programs have to coincide with each other. LAHEAP can't sustain its own. That's why all these programs put together, and they had a procedure in the parish for years that all these programs went to before the advisory board. Just this year, like everything else, is upside down in the parish. The parish president destroyed it, something that was working fine. And I'm not going to step over, and I'm the liaison to the advisory board, and I will not vote on this issue. And whoever wants to vote, that's fine. But the advisory board has to play a role in this.
Mr. Groh?
So the amendment that I'm looking at is dated April 3rd. Today is October 23rd. I mean, it's just dated April. It came from Louisiana Housing Corporation, from the executive director. And it's addressed to Lafourche Parish Council / Office of Community Action. And it could be signed by a duly authorized representative. We have an opinion from the DA saying we authorize to act on LaHeap stuff. I think we have enough to vote on this. You decide which way you want to go, but I think we have enough protection to vote to get this money in and not wait till November 14th to get on a meeting after that. We're having budget meetings and things like that and flirt with a date. This came to somebody on April 3rd. The DA opinion came within the last couple weeks. I thank administration for getting this to Mr. Otan. Let's get this rolling.
Mr. Paraloo.
Yes, I understand LIHEAP is a different funding source from CSBG, and from what I'm understanding from Mr. Jones is the LIHEAP money is pretty much worthless without the employees that are funded by CSBG to administer the program. So my fear in this is if we don't act on it, is there a cutoff date that we have to act on this by, or we run a risk of losing this fund from these fundings from the state? I don't see that anywhere in this resolution. I don't want to be on the, on the hook for losing $500,000 for low-income families in the parish. I'm wondering if there's a common ground we can come to by like accepting this, approving this tonight, and then not acting on it until you guys meet, as Reverend Boyd stated in the email that I received as well. Is there a common ground we can find on something like this, you think?
Mr. Melvin, are you done, Mr. Paraloo? Oh, you're asking
It's an
Jones?
open question.
Jones?
I'm not the board. The only thing I can see, I'd much rather see it go to the Council of Aging, because they're the next one in line that can accept LIHEAP.
But wouldn't we still have to accept it on their behalf as a council?
Ms. Charlene is, maybe.
Y'all always did accept the LaHeap.
Can you name an address,
Okay,
please?
Charlene Rodriguez, Post Office Box 500, Raceland. Y'all always accepted LaHeap on parish's behalf. Council on Aging has an employee, part-time, that we pay, doesn't come out of the parish funds. Everything comes out of Council on Aging. The only thing she does is take the applications, she forwards it to Community Action, they put it in the system, and they get paid. We do the seniors that are 60 years of age and older. Now, if that's a common ground that we could help with our seniors for now, we could help. Didn't they lay off someone who was doing LaHeap? Can we hire her back? I mean, can the parish hire her back so that we can get this going? I hate to see people that really need it not get it.
And that's another problem that came in. She was laid off.
Right.
But she
because they
wasn't
didn't
getting
have
paid out
funds,
of
right?
LaHeap.
Oh, she wasn't. Oh,
She getting paid out of
Yeah,
general fund.
I didn't know all of that.
And you
too.
hired a new person and laid the one that originally know everything in community action, you laid her off.
Yeah, she did know a lot. But I'm willing to help, I could help my seniors and those that are disabled. We could help like we always did, if that would be a common ground, and that wouldn't be any income coming for a salaried person, if that would be any help.
LaFont?
Do you know if there's a deadline?
I don't have the slightest clue. Everything goes through the parish.
I see they got a board member out there. Maybe he would know if there's a deadline, if we could ask him.
Mr. Chiquette?
Would you like to speak? Could you answer me? Thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Paul Chiquette, 223 Twin Oaks, Racine, Louisiana. There was a deadline. The deadline was September the 19th. The deadline has been passed a number of times, and it's been tied up always by administration, not by the board, by refusing. If you look at it tonight, it's not to bring the money in tonight. It's to have amendments. Read your whole packet. There's two amendments. Amendment 1 is to change money, and Amendment 2 is to change money. It's not to accept the full amount of LAHEAP. It's still in process. Read your packets, Amendment 1 and Amendment 2, not the LAHEAP funds that you're looking at tonight.
I don't see amendment on there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, amendment 1. Thank you. Oh, it is amendment.
Mr. Melvin?
Yeah, Mr. Jones, thank you for the clarification, and Mr. Chiquette, I appreciate it. It's just, again, like I said, I don't want my name associated with people losing money who may be in need, and who knows, in, 30, 40, 50 years, it might be one of us needing that money or needing some funds, and our relatives or friends, and I'm just trying to look out for what's best for the parish, because even though there's been some things that have happened that are very unfortunate, and we're still trying to weed through it, DA opinions and the like, it's just tough because the end result, I don't want it to be bad for anybody in Lafourche Parish who's needing anything.
Mr. LaFont?
I'm sorry.
The only thing I could add to that is I've had a strict policy, and I think this council has. I've never gone against a DA opinion, and the opinion Councilman Otan was referencing, she clearly states that this is on the parish council to do it, and that it was an error before when it wasn't presented to us. So, or I won't say an error, that the Community Action Advisory Board was probably being put at fault for this when it just needed to come to the council. I realize in the past, the Community Action Board probably was involved, but now that they're not, all I have to stand on is the DA opinion. I don't ever go against the DA opinion, so I never have, and I'm not starting tonight. So I'm going to support it because I know there's some things going on here, and if I end up, Mr. Daniel, as you said, making an error, I'll have the DA to support my decision tonight because that's the only leg I have to stand on. Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Raise your hands, opposed. Okay, it passes 6 yeas, 2 nays, Lorraine and Jones, 0 absent, 1 vacancy. Thank you, Ms. Carlene. Number 30, resolution approving a contract between the Office of Public Health, Bureau of Community Preparedness, and Lafourche Parish Government for the City's Readiness Initiative, CRI, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said contract and any and all relevant documents. Moved by OTAS, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0, 1 vacancy. 31, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Head Start and the Board of Supervisors of Louisiana State University and Agriculture and Mechanical College on behalf of its Louisiana State University Health Sciences Center, School of Medicine in New Orleans to secure the services of a psychologist for the Head Start classrooms and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Melvin, second by Paraloo. LaFont?
I got a question. If you can, I saw it's an additional, I think it was 15,000. Was that coming from grant money, or is that coming from?
Can you walk
Yeah.
up and state your name and address for the record, please? I'm glad you didn't leave yet.
I thought it might. Vicki Adams, 305 Ami Thibodeau. It's from grant money.
That's good. Thank you.
Anything else? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0, 1 vacancy. Number 32, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Office of Community Development Disaster Recovery Unit and Lafourche Parish Government implementing a grant under the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program through the Louisiana Long-Term Community Recovery Program and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by OTAS, second by Grow. Any discussion? Okay, amendment. Glad you caught me. Number 32, Ms. Carlene.
The administration would like to replace page number 26 within the agreement. The resolution and all other pages within the agreement remain the same. They have the wrong information on the parish president. So if you look at your second page, they're giving you what the amendment is.
Okay. Can I get a vote on the amendment that's moved by OTAN, second by Grow? Can I get a vote on the amendment? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0. One vacancy. Okay. Vote on the item as amended. That's moved by, as amendment, moved by OTAN, second by Grow. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0. 33, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and St. James Parish Area Agency on Aging for Lafourche Parish Government to serve as a host agency of the Senior Community Service Employment Program, SCSEP, funded through St. James Parish Area Agency on Aging and operated under Title V of the Older Americans Act to provide safe and healthful work sites for participants, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by OTAN. You've been busy on this agenda tonight, huh, Councilman OTAN? Second by Parallel. Any discussion? Mr. Jones?
Yeah, can someone explain what is this for?
Mr. OTAN, do you have details?
My understanding, this was the request that was made, that was discussed about them taking over that program. We had a deadline date, I believe, of July 1st. We passed it, and so we were looking to someone else to administer the program, unless I'm thinking something otherwise.
So we currently administer it, you're saying?
Trying to look up something else.
Ms. Sharp? Can you state your name and address to the record, please?
I do want to comment, if I
ahead,
can,
Mr. Otan.
that there is a mistake, whether it requires an amendment or not. It references me as Councilmatic District Number 5 in the resolution. I don't know if that's significant enough for needing an amendment, but it does mention that.
It's probably a typo, right? I think we can consider that as a typo. I think it's
Charlene Rodriguez, Post Office Box 500, Raceland. A Title V program is like where you hire senior citizens to work in a nonprofit organization where they learn a trade and then they move on to the real world. And that's what this is about. Probably the parish would hire a couple of individuals. I know they had them at one time in community action where they answered the phone and took messages and things like that. And they just hire people to work and they pay them while they're in training for so many weeks. And then they go into the real world and find a job.
So we don't have this program now?
No, St. James has it.
Okay.
And they're just looking for host agency sites to hire their people, put their people to work for them.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Mr.
And that
Lorraine?
Title V comes from where?
St. James.
CDBG grant funds, right?
Not really sure. I know it's the state, but I can't really tell you that.
I think that's really where it comes from.
When we had it at one time, we covered 6 parishes, and the Council on Aging gave it up because it went from 52 employees to like maybe 20, and it really wasn't worth it for us to operate in 6 parishes. So we gave it back. It came from the Governor's Office of Elderly Affairs when we had it.
It actually comes from the CSD,
No, it says
SCSBG
funded
fund.
through St. James Parish Area Agency
But I
on
want to say
Aging.
their funding comes from the Governor's Office of Elderly Affairs.
Title V of the Older
Title V,
Americans Act.
So here we go again. We didn't even go to where we need to go.
I don't know what that means. Mr. Jones?
Just like, why Council of Aging, we can send this to Council of Aging instead of Community Action?
Because
You got your board?
they offered us for some employees there, but we just felt like we didn't need them at the time. And they were looking for host agencies actually throughout the whole parish, so.
Yeah, the question of why it's Community Action, if the advisory board, we didn't recommend all this stuff.
And I'm not sure that it's through community action. I'm just saying, I knew at one time they had them.
is.
I'm not sure if this is to go back through community action or if this is just to go through the parish. But
It's
I just
community
knew about
action.
Title V, that's why I wanted to tell you
Yeah.
on that.
Title V, Community
Right.
Action.
Okay.
Mr. LaFont?
If St. James has it, I don't think it needs to come through our policy council if they're running the program. I wouldn't think. If St. James got the program, I think they're their Community Action Council would be the ones hearing on that.
That's,
Ms.
No, no,
Lorraine?
no. It's, they cover several parishes.
it's the same thing with the workforce
Yeah, like they
with Terrebonne.
cover Assumption, Ascension, St. Charles, St. James, St. John, Terrebonne, and Lafourche, I think. In those parishes, and they put elderly people to work. And they have so many slots that they could do. And so they have so many slots in Lafourche that they can do, and that's why they asking for y'all to participate.
They're asking for us to participate. Okay, Mr. LaFont?
No, I'm good.
No, Mr. Jones?
And you're right. The reason why you need somebody to supervise these workers, that's why I went through community action through the advisory board. St. James always did administer the program.
Right.
But the workers came from community action through the advisory board.
Have we participated in this before?
Yes?
Yes, okay. Anything else?
I guess my next question, who's gonna supervise them? What department they going through?
Mr. O'Town, do you know?
I don't know, can we dictate that as a council? Is that
No,
something we
I
dictate?
mean, we just want to know who.
Yeah. I mean, we can ask, can they, oh, I'm
Mr.
sorry, never
LaFont?
mind.
I'm gonna abstain due to lack of knowledge if we go to vote.
Mr. O'Town?
Yeah, so based on Ms. Charlene's comments, I'm gonna be supporting this one full-heartedly. Thank you.
Anything else? No further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Nays, raise your hand. Okay, it fails. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 yays. 2 yays are Grow and O-Town. I wish it would have been deferred just so we could get answers or maybe, but,
5 days, but I need
2 deferred, 2 yays, that's Grow and O-Town, 5 nays. Lorraine, Perilou, Melvin, Sposito, and Jones. 1 abstention, LaFont, and 1 vacancy. We have all that? Mr. LaFont?
I'd like to make a motion to reconsider.
You certainly can.
Sure. And a motion to
Make a motion to
reconsider?
reconsider. Reconsider the thing, and then he can defer it after.
Do you want to, anyone want to second his motion to reconsider? Going to get a second?
Reconsider.
Second,
Has to be opposing.
second by Perilou. Okay. What are you saying, Ms. Carleen, about?
Y'all going to reconsider your vote or reconsider to defer?
He wants to reconsider the item.
Reconsider, and you gotta reread them, we gotta discuss, do it all over.
I think he's trying to get it deferred, that's probably. We've already voted, so.
You can defer it after.
I don't know, I'd have to, if y'all want to take a break and we can look and see,
A motion, we take a break?
Second?
move by LaFont, second by O-Town, 10 minutes at 6:36 PM.
The administration should be here to answer.
At 6:40 PM, Mr. LaFont has pulled his motion to reconsider, and had someone second it? Corey? Corey pulled his second. All right. And so we have all the numbers on how it failed, Ms. Carleen?
Yes, ma'am. 2 yeas. 5, 1, 2, 2, 5, 1, 1.
2511, with the nays being Jones and Lorraine.
For all of them.
Wait a second, what was it? Did we?
LaFont, Jones, Sposito, Melvin, Carolyn,
Oh,
and Lorraine.
they were the yays.
And Mr.
Okay.
Rowe and Mr. O'Town were the yays.
The two yays were Ota and Grill. Okay, Mr. Ota, you had something?
I just want to make a comment, once again, to thanking Ms. Charlene, and, that hopefully we can do something for, this was in support of the older Americans, as it specifically says in the resolution, so with the Agency on Aging, so hopefully we can reconsider this some point in time down the road and try to get that right. But I thank you for coming up and speaking.
Yeah, I think if we have it put it back on the agenda next time and have somebody else that knows where, have more details on it, then I'm sure it'll pass without event, so.
With that said, did anyone ask any questions on this? So this was put on the agenda. We saw it. I mean, has anyone inquired? I haven't seen the exchange of emails on this. Just curious.
Has anyone inquired to whom?
Questions of this to the administration. I mean, there's been a lot of questions here. I'm just wondering if anyone
Yeah.
had sent questions. I didn't see any exchange of emails.
I usually just wait till the meeting because they're not answered previously.
We typically don't get anything answered at the meetings,
Well, I
but
mean, we're not getting them either way. Questions answered either way. Okay. 34? Yes. Resolution supporting the submittal of a grant application to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, for funding the fiscal year 2019 Community-Based Marine Debris Removal Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by OTAN, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacancy 35. 35 as an amendment. You need to read it now, though, right? 35, resolution approving amendment number 2 to the Louisiana Housing Corporation Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, LAHEAP, agreement fiscal year 10/1/2017 through 9/30/2019, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. That's moved by OTAN. We have an amendment on it. Ms. Carleen?
The administration would like to correct the amount for client education from $4,406.47 to $5,406.47, as per the amount in attachment D within the attachment.
Okay. Can I get a motion on the amendment? That's moved by OTAN, second by, on the amendment, second. Somebody want to second the amendment? Second by Paraloo. Voting on the amendment. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the amendment's accepted, 8-0-0-1. Now, the item as amended. Voting on the item as amended. All in favor? Any opposed?
Is that what we voting on as amended?
Yes?
I'm abstaining.
All right, so let's try this again. All in favor? Any opposed? Who's saying nay? Jones is saying nay. Lorraine's saying nay, and LaFonte's abstaining.
Because I don't really know what we actually do, and nobody can answer any questions. I mean, we just voting to say we voting, and no administration's here.
Well, the administration's not here, and we can't stop government because the administration's not here.
Then how can we be voting on things we don't even know we're voting on?
I believe this has to go back to the DA opinion. That's why the last LAHEAP item passed, because it was referencing the DA opinion. Okay, so Jones and Lorraine voted nay. LaFonte abstained. 5 yeas, 2 nays, 1 abstention, and 1 vacant. 1 vacancy, okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is it only the council meetings that the administration is choosing not to participate, or are they staying home tomorrow from work as well?
I don't know that answer. I wish I had it for you.
Because, I mean, the council can't run the government alone. We need the administration.
Okay. Yo, you want to do it on I'm not sure what you're saying, Mr. Grover.
I was going to say, I thought the parish president was out because of eye surgery. I didn't know anything about anything else.
Well.
I'm not, you know.
36. Resolution accepting the low bid of M&L Engine LLC in the amount of $54,644 for a 24-inch pump package for the Sugar Ridge East Pump Station, authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Can someone move for me? Moved by Otis, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacancy 37, resolution in support of a grant application for fiscal year 2018-2019 funding through the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development, Community Water Enrichment for Lafourche Parish Water District Number 1, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Lorraine, second by LaFawn. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Number 38, resolution approving an amendment to the scope of work to the contract between Lafourche Parish Government and Division of Administration and transferring $47,180 from the West 63rd Street and West 143rd Street waterline improvement projects to the East 44th Street waterline improvement projects and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by LaFont, second by Lorraine. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. Vacancy 39, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Lafourche Parish Hospital Service District Number 1 for the maintenance and repairs needed at the Lady of the Sea walking track, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Lorraine, second by Paraloo. LaFont, you have something?
Yeah, I'm going to support it, but I don't understand why we going into a cooperative endeavor agreement with property that we own.
Mr. Lorraine?
All I can tell you, that's what they wanted to do. And I agree with you, we own it just like we own Thibodeau Regional. Not me, the parish.
I don't understand the concept. Look, Grow, you had something?
I was just gonna ask who's doing the work.
But they're getting to the prices, that's.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? I abstain. Lack of information. So who are opposed, raise your hand. Who were opposed just now? All were in favor? So 7-0-1-1 with maybe an abstention. 40, resolution accepting the low bid of J.D. Fields and Company, Inc. in the amount of $35,247.87 for the steel sheet piles needed for the Sugar Ridge East Pump Station, authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Could someone move for me? Moved by Otan, second by Paraloo. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 8-0-0-1. I, parish president, department heads, directors, or manager reports, presentation, and/or updates. 41, a report of a representative from the Department of Finance to present a quarterly report as per ordinance 6037. This report was handed to us prior to the meeting, so the fact that it wasn't presented, I'm guessing, is going to be a charter violation. I'm not sure. I'll have to check with the DA on that, but I did put that item, those documents by everyone's seat. Mr. LaFont?
Finance director's here, she's not speaking.
No, sir, they are not.
You can speak or you can't speak? No? Okay. So I just want this for the record, that the people see that they wasn't allowed to speak.
You just have
Go
one
ahead,
copy of the
Councilman
report?
Grove.
You just have one copy of the report?
No, I put one by your seat. LaFont?
I also would like to find out, Ms. Carleen, if you can send a request tomorrow, see if those that are here, or if they're getting paid to be here. Any employee that's attending the meeting tonight.
Questions, Jay, questions for the administration? I had a few, but Mr. Melvin, I'm not even going to waste my time.
Only thing I was told was Mr. Cantrell was out for eye surgery, be missing the meeting, and that's fine. I hope he's doing well, and I I mean, I had LASIK surgery, my eyes are really bad, so I've had some issues with my eyes over the years, but I wish him well. So I expected at least to get some questions answered, and I understand sometimes we miss meetings. I think everybody here's missed a meeting. But when I look to the right and I see that empty gallery there, it's not so much that we can't get questions answered, but the public has a right to know what's happening and why. That's why we're here. These seats are temporary. They're ours to occupy for short periods of time. Every 4 years is an election. The public has a right to know. And if government's not working, then it's time to make some changes, period. Because we watch, whatever channel you watch on TV, and that's frustrating enough. And here we are trying to make progress the best we can, and we don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we have to try to make amends to be amicable, but we're representatives of the public. So I understand if they don't have the answers we're asking, but to refuse to answer questions and tell us why there's no administration, that bothers me. I hope it bothers y'all. Thank you.
Okay, I'll save my questions for another time. K, council reports, presentations, updates, and/or questions. Mr. Reggie Bagala, legislative auditor, to present a report. He's been working on some budget questions for me. He's not here. He had an appointment out of town. Mr. Lorraine?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Ms. Corleen a question real quick on this council reports presentation update. Did anybody submit anything for the auditor?
Not as of this date, but 3 people did contact finance for a copy of our RFP that appeared in the paper.
Because I had a suggestion. If we can't find an auditor, we'll just put Reggie Bagala interim auditor.
Mr. Otan? No, that's a joke. It's a hilarious joke. Okay, where are we? L, discussion. Oh, wait, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Paraloo.
Okay, in discussion, I would like to bring up to the public, a lot of the people already know about this, but early voting site has been open today in Central Lafourche, right here in this very building, the room right behind us. It's going to be open from the 23rd today until the 30th, with the exception of Sunday. It won't be open on Sunday. So anyone in Central Lafourche, you don't have to drive to Galliano or Thibodaux anymore to go do your early voting. It's right here in this building, and I'm appreciative of everyone that pitched in and got this thing open for us. So there you go. Thank you.
Mr. LaFont?
I just want to invite all the public, and please bring your friends to the French Food Festival this weekend in La Rose, Louisiana. I'll be there cooking up great food, also doing the auction. So I invite everyone to come down. It supports the La Rose Civic Center, which is our community center, and we'd love to see you out there. Thank you.
Okay, what? Okay, well, turn your light on. Oh, okay, well, wait a second. I'm not to that point yet. You had something with this item, or you were talking about the next one? Okay, hang on a second. Mr. Melvin?
I just wanted to say, I've been getting some calls for folks who were, let's give you an example, having a snowball stand. Somebody wants to open a snowball stand in the parish, and they're having to put in a $16,000 sewage treatment plant. I understand some snowballs are doing more than just selling snowballs now. They might opt to sell sandwiches at lunch. However, I like snowballs, and all of the ones here are, grandfathered in. So if somebody wants to go into business in this free country we live in, and you're required to put a $16,000 sewage treatment plant in, that's a lot of snowballs. So what you're saying is, from the state of Louisiana, this is not us, but the state saying we don't like snowballs, and they don't want us to sell snowballs, and that's what it comes down to, if you have to look at the end result. So I would hope whoever, after the next round of elections next year, when we have some people, whether it's the same ones or different ones, that they can look into this, because hey, people like to have snacks, and if you have to put in a $16,000 sewage treatment plant, it becomes unfeasible. Thank you.
Everybody who likes snowballs, please raise your hand. Love snowballs. Okay, Mr. LaFont?
They can buy a mobile one, and they don't have to put that sewage plant.
Yeah, good point. Okay, the only thing I wanted to add was Mr. Wallace McCann with the parish. he does an amazing job. I would say last week, maybe week before, there's this housing authority on my way home. The kids are standing out there in the absolute darkness every morning, and safety issue, just, it's right on Highway 20, and I called him, and I want to say within days, you know, he went and checked it out and had it taken care of, had a light put in, so that's just one instance of every time I call Mr. McCann that he takes care of us and really is very responsive, and I thank him for that. The other thing was the South Lafourche Beachfront Development District Board at-large seat. That was a mouthful. I have a couple of people, actually one is from your district, Mr. Daniel, that I think would be a good a good fit for that. How often do they meet? I guess I was planning to ask him what requirements are. How often do they meet? What's the deal? This person that's coming off doesn't want to be back on anymore?
No, what happened was Mr. Louvier was going to resubmit, and he had really and truly forgot to mail it. I talked to him today, but I'll straighten that up.
Oh, okay.
But as far as the rest of the stuff, we had enlarged it before y'all got here, but then I changed it with y'all here because nobody never, from any other parish, ever came forward. So it's back basically to Ward 10. So. One individual shall be appointed from the area in Council District 1, 2, 3, and 4, and one from Council District 5, 6, and 7. And that went vacant for 2 years. So it was changed. I scratched that out. And we back to square one. And the board hasn't met much, but I think they're gonna try to start meeting again because eventually we'll probably get some kind of bridge there. I don't know how soon. I hope I live to be an old man, but we'll get it one day. But if you have somebody, but Chet just forgot to send his resume in,
Yeah.
and that'll make the difference. I'll talk to you after about it.
Okay. But the person was from your district, though, so,
It doesn't.
she was just,
It doesn't really matter as long as somebody's on there that goes.
okay. No one else? Okay, L, discussion regarding the administration to address having a rainfall study in South Lafourche. Mr. Lorraine.
Well, I guess I'm going to address the wall.
Yeah.
First of all, I met with Wendell, and we are basically having some problems with some of the people for flood insurance in South Lafourche. It's serious. And depending on where you live, some people, insurance went from, now I'm talking about flood, okay, from $450 to $3,000 to $4,000. Mine went from $1,700 to $450. I guess that's where I live at. And that's what he was saying. And he felt that we never really got a rainfall study. And he thinks if we can come up with a rainfall study, either Angelette or Piciol or one of them or Plaisance would do it, because they're familiar with a lot of it, that would help out the residents on the flood insurance. That was just a suggestion that he brought to me, and I'm bringing it here. So you know what? We're going to put it back on the agenda for next time when we have somebody with the administration here.
If we have somebody with the administration.
Well, yeah. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, and I know I've asked also for a stormwater drainage, a stormwater management study, and that hasn't been done either. It's been ignored, so I wouldn't.
I couldn't get even get,
Well,
Mr. Melvin?
I couldn't
maybe
even
when
get a
you
water
become
test.
parish president, it might get done.
True. Mr. Melvin, you want to say it on mic?
Yes, I said I couldn't even get a water test.
Thank you. Lafont, motion to adjourn, second by Otan. Any discussion being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Meeting adjourned, 7:00 p.m. Good night.